This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
Happy New Year! Okay, I'm really late on the New Year's greetings, but Happy New Year anyway! In my years of going into people's houses and helping them organize their spaces, I have seen trends come and go. I remember the trends of the labeling everything and the trends of open shelving. So we're going to talk about the new trends for 2023 and see what I think about them. I've been scouring the interwebs for lists of organizing trends. And today we're going to be focusing on House Digest. That's the one I'm going to read from. So I'll put a link down below to this article so you can read it yourself. But let's see how we feel about the next home organizing trends of 2023. Okay, so a lot of the same things were on a lot of lists, and the first list on this article is ditching plastic. I know that I have made a personal effort in my own home to organize with less plastic containers and more natural materials, just because that felt to me where interior decorating was going. I still don't have a problem with using plastic containers if you have to, especially with things that are going to spill and all that stuff. But if I can, I always want to use metal, glass, or something natural like bamboo, wood, just something to bring a little bit more warmth into the space. And I think that's really my main motivation for using less plastic items. One, for sustainability, but two, I think that there's a very, very strong trend for bringing warmth back into the home space. And a lot of that includes ditching a lot of the plastic. So that's why I've swapped a lot of my plastic food containers out for glass ones, and a lot of my plastic bins out for bamboo bins or water hyacinth bins or wooden bins. They just bring that warmth, that hygge into the space. And I love this trend. I'm seeing it more and more. I say, yes, let's use less plastic. Plastic has its places, it's got its uses, but I love to see the trend toward more sustainable materials. The next thing in the article says choosing natural elements. I don't know if this is the same thing as in the first one, but it says similarly, both sustainability and aesthetic reasons expect to see lots of rattan, jute, and woven baskets in 2023. If I love anything, I love a woven basket. I really do. I love both a cotton woven basket and like a jute rattan woven basket. They're both fabulous. I have noticed that I personally have been buying more rattan and woven baskets, and even for the dog, I bought a little woven basket. So I definitely agree. But was I ahead of the trend, or am I just with the trend? I don't know, but I am seeing a lot of these in people's homes and a lot of them in the stores, and I say, I love it. Yes. Deciding on cabinets over shelving. Okay, I think this is the backlash against the open shelving movement. Now, don't get me wrong. I love an open shelf when it's very neat. But for a lot of people, the open shelving movement was a disaster. In order to have peace in your open shelving space, everything on the shelf has to look neat all the time. And if you're a person that can hack that, amazing. You got this. All the open shelving in the world is yours, but for a lot of people who fell into this trend, they felt that it was more problematic than they could handle, especially in kitchens. I've seen a lot of people go back from open shelving in kitchens back to kitchen cabinets where you can kind of close the door. And the reason is because you're living your life. You're not going to put the plates back like totally neat every time. I personally like the little mix of open shelving and cabinets, and you can choose where it's appropriate. For some things, open shelving is really amazing, like if you have stuff on display or stuff that needs to breathe, but I love to have stuff behind closed doors. I don't want everybody looking at my business. Utilizing matching containers. Is this a trend? It says, instead of creating an eclectic vibe that uses many different storage containers in the same space, homeowners have started using matching bins. Further, many are choosing to use warm, neutral tones like brown and tan. Well, that I agree with. And I'm thinking to myself, is this true for me? And I think yes. I think in the past, my goal has been with my own space to get it organized, to get it functional to where I can actually find things in the space. And I feel like 2022, 2023 Kay has the same goals, but she also wants to open a cabinet or look at a shelf and go, that's pretty. Now, that's not everybody's priority. I totally understand that. Sometimes you just want to find the stuff and move on with your day. But I'm finding as the more I'm home, the more I'm chilling, I'm doing the whole cozy bit, I want to look at a shelf. I want to look at my pantry and be like, you look pretty. And a lot of that is choosing matching containers. And the only thing about it is it's very fussy. It's a fussy thing to do. And you know what? I also did it with my spice drawer as well. I did it with my spice drawer. I will show a picture of it. It's a thing of beauty. So yeah, I guess I'm guilty of that one. I like it. It's good. It's a good trend. Focusing on the home office is the trend for 2023. I can kind of get this because from 2020 on, we've been home a lot. And I feel like the goal towards having a beautiful home office is something that has really taken off. I've seen a lot of people complain about their home office. I've seen a lot of people try to figure out where to have their home office and dedicate a space to their home office. Like a lot of people are moving from like 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms because one of them is now an office. So I kind of understand this trend because a lot of us are still working from home, even though a lot of us are still going to the office. So I think this is an interesting trend. The only thing that can become an issue for me is the paper hoarding. I know I try not to use hoarding, but like the paper just keeping can get a little bit intense in home offices. If you have a home office, make sure you have a shredder in your office. Trust me. Having a shredder is going to save you a world of pain when you bring in your mail and you're like, oh, I got to open this, and you open it and then you just don't know what to do with it. Sometimes you just got to shred it right away. So I say shred mail immediately if it needs to be shredded, like if it's junk mail and stuff, just do it right away. Have that in your home office. You can buy a cute one. They don't have to be totally ugly. I have one that's just in the corner. You can't even see it. It's hidden there. But every time I need to shred something, I do it right away. That way I don't have a big pile waiting for me. That's what I find a lot of the places. In home offices, I find piles of shredding. This is going someplace I didn't want it to go. Piles of shredding. And please do yourself a favor. Shred it when you need to shred it. When you get it. Accidental rhymes. Making the use of vertical space. That's a trend. According to Home Digest, that's a trend. It says, in the past, most cabinets and shelving only extended 1 or 2 feet below the ceiling. However, in 2023, more people will decide upon storage solutions that reach new heights. I don't have much to say about this. I feel in my years where I sold closets, I did a long stint where I was also professional organizing, but then I sold a lot of closets too. I would go around people's houses, measure, sell closets. A lot of that was still using a lot of the vertical space, but maybe that's just me. Maybe as a professional organizer going around and designing closets, maybe I'm using all of the vertical space because that's just what you do when you organize people's homes. You know what? I'm going to leave this up to you. Let me know. If you sold closets and you're not a professional organizer by trade, did you use all the vertical space? Were you I feel like that's part of the whole thing about closets. Let me know.
And now a short word from today's sponsor.
I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring and unique classes on all kinds of things, including cooking, interior design, photo editing, video editing. But did you know that they have classes on career growth as well? I know that one of my favorite uses of Skillshare is actually career growth. In 2023, a career can look totally different than it did in 2020, even 2021 and 2022. There are so many opportunities on Skillshare to learn skills related to my career path that are really, really helpful. One of the most helpful things I have learned on Skillshare is productivity. I have talked so much about Ollie Abdal's class. I mentioned a few months ago that I made this Notion template and it has been amazing. I made a Life OS and so many things about that have been so helpful for my productivity. I have been keeping up with my to-do list there. I have been keeping up with my video ideas there, and it's been a life changer. My newest focus on my learning and my career is actually a mindset change and trying not to compare myself to other creatives who do the same thing, because at the end of the day, I know that I've been doing it. I know a lot of you have been doing it. I know we all like to pretend like we're not doing that, but I have totally been doing it. Donna Louise, who is a mindset and success coach for creatives, has this amazing class on how to stop yourself from comparing yourself to other people in your creative field. And it was really helpful. There was this great journaling prompt that we did together, and I had so much fun filling it out. And Filling it out and doing journal prompts like that really helped me clarify what my goals were, how I saw myself, what I wanted for my brand and my creative career, and it really helped anchor me. And I loved it. I've learned so many skills that have been helpful for my career on Skillshare, so I want to give the same gift to you. I have a link down in the description that gives you 1 month trial of Skillshare for absolutely free. Go ahead and check that out in the description and learn something new today. I know I am a lifelong learner and I am obsessed with learning new skills. Every time I learn something new, I'm like, yeah, I still got that. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Number 7 is adding aesthetic touches to closets. While closets have typically been used for storage purposes, some have begun adding aesthetic touches. For example, a popular choice is adding wallpaper behind hanging clothes or shelving. If this is a trend, you know what? I love this trend. If this is a trend, I haven't seen a lot of it, but frankly, I haven't been in a lot of different spaces in about a year. But I find that kind of funny because I have just moved into a space last year which has wallpaper in the closet, and I love it. And I also wallpapered my closet in my last home that I owned, and I loved that. I think wallpaper and little accents to closets really zhuzh up the personality of it. I actually wallpapered my friend's closet a few years ago. We had so much fun. I wallpapered it with wrapping paper. You can do that too if you really are in a bind and you don't want to buy wallpaper, because wallpaper is really expensive. You can use wrapping paper just on the back side of the closet, and especially if you live in a rental, just tape it and nobody will know, and it looks fabulous. So I say go ahead and add your aesthetic touches to closets. I think it makes the space so much more fun to use. I don't poo-poo on having nice looking spaces. It's fun. Life is short. Have fun. Fixating on the laundry room is the next trend. Interesting. Let's see what they have to say. Just like the home office, having an organized laundry room is very important to many homeowners. This year, you will see an increase in larger spaces with more storage and less clutter. Well, I'm interested to see how that works out for them. We have a laundry closet. We've never had a dedicated laundry room. I know my parents had a laundry room growing up in their last house that they owned together. And I love organizing laundry rooms. It's so fun because there's always so much going on in there. I find so much weird stuff in laundry rooms that in any other space in people's homes, when I go in there, they're like, I need to organize this. And I open the cabinet and I'm like, what's this? And it'll be like something totally random. Like it's like a rubber ducky toy or paper cups from the last birthday party. I feel like, and let me know if this is you, if I'm calling you out right now, the laundry room, if you have a dedicated laundry room, is the place for things to go where you don't know where to put them, but it's like they're small. You know, so I find all kinds of stuff in laundry rooms, and I think that in laundry rooms, open shelving is a good thing because otherwise, the cabinets, clutter them up. Don't do that. I'm interested to see if the laundry room becomes like a hot trend of 2023. I'll get back to you next year and we'll recap. Installing custom closets is a trend in 2023. Listen. I, as a former Container Store employee and as a I sold other closets for another company, and as a professional organizer, I feel like installing custom closets is the truth and the only way to go. Because otherwise, how are you going to design the closet that's right for you? Just rip the whole thing out and install a custom closet and you're good to go. I feel like it's one of the best indulgences you can do for yourself, for your home, if you can afford it and you own the home or you can do it, is to install a custom closet because it's right for you and you can use every single bit of space in there that you feel like you need to use. Now, let your closet designer do the thing, let them cook, because sometimes when I was working at the Container Store, people would bring in the little thing, their little drawing of the closet, the dimensions and everything, and I would design it, and they'd be like, well, what about that little 3 inches over there? Can you fill that in? And I'm like, all right, what are you gonna put there in that little 3 inches of space? A saw? And they wanted to put shelving on like all the walls, and I'm like, you're gonna be very claustrophobic when you walk in. Let them cook. They know what they're talking about. Trust. The last trend is one I really want to talk about, and that is forgetting the labels. It says, almost every professional organizer will tell you that labels are extremely important. They're coming after me in this article. I don't appreciate it. However, in 2023, some may choose to keep them off of certain containers, and this allows for more flexibility with what's stored inside. I don't know if it's necessarily for the flexibility of what's stored inside. I have opted to tone down some of my labeling because it looks better. Listen, I love my Cricut. I love it. I still use it to this day, but I have removed a lot of the very large, very over-the-top labels from a lot of my items because it was feeling a little bit like a preschool. You know, like how in a preschool, like everything has a label. You can see what's, you know, like this is crayons and this is paints and here's where you put your shoes. It became a little bit of that feeling, and especially my pantry, I made sure that the labeling was a little more subtle and changeable, and I love the effect of it. On my WEC jars, I just labeled with a little bit of chalk marker, and you can read them, but they're not like screaming at you, and I love it. So I think that this trend is a thing, but I still love my labels. And home, digest, why are you coming for me? Why are you coming for me? I don't appreciate it. Okay, friends, thanks for watching the video. Let me know what home trends, home organizing trends you are interested in 2023. Let me know. Or if you are already on some of these home organizing trends. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the description. It really helps the channel. Learn something new. Learn something new. I love to learn, so I want you to learn too. All right. Thanks for watching. There's Clover. And I'll see you in the next one.